Guys, I'm back again with another reaction video, and today we're reacting to how big is USA actually. Well, before we start, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell button to get notified whenever I do upload a video. Anyways guys, let's check this out. I'm intrigued because US is huge, but do we actually know how huge it is? Let's find out.
This video was made possible by Wix. If you're ready to create one of their premium installations around the world, as a country, its geography span superpower their premium plans right now. The United States is currently the world's sole superpower with military installations around the world. As a country, its geography spans from subtropical forests to rolling plains, scorching deserts, and Arctic wastes. But just how big is the US really in comparison to the rest of the world? Hello and welcome to another episode of the Infographics Show. Today, we're taking a look at how big the US really is. The US is approximately 5,680,000 square miles, with terrain that varies dramatically. Only Russia at 10.6 million square miles and Canada at 6,205,000 square miles are larger than the US. Its three biggest states, Alaska at 663,000 square miles, Texas at 270,000 square miles, and California at 160,000 square miles, combined would be the 17th largest nation in the world, immediately after Sudan at 1.15 million square miles.
Oh, wow.
Right before Libya at 1 million square miles. In total, the U.S. is larger than the 100.
The rain is really strong, so bear with us with the sound in the background.
107 smallest countries in the world combined. With about 327 million people, the United States is also the third most populated nation on Earth, having a total of 4.28% of the total world population. With a net yearly migration rate of approximately 900,000 people, the U.S. is by far the one place the rest of the world wants to live, with Germany coming in second at 350,000 migrants, and Turkey in third with 325,000.
Whoa, I didn't even think. I would have never guessed. Turkey is like the third most yearly migrated country in the world. Like you have US, you have Germany, and then Turkey. That is very surprising to me. Wow.
Migrants. In the U.S., 83% of the population lives in cities, with its three most populated cities being New York City with 8.5 million people, Los Angeles with 4 million people, and Chicago with 2.7 million people. All combined, the population of the U.S.'s three biggest cities is equal to the population of Chad with 14.5 million people. Just these three cities alone are also more populated than Cuba with 11.5 million people, Belgium with 11.3 million people, and Greece with 11.2 million people. When counting the greater metropolitan area, New York City is the 10th largest city in the world, with a total population of 18.6 million people.
18.6 million! That is a lot. Oh my gosh, I've never really statistically thought about it, but now this video is giving us a huge perspective. Wow.
Cairo with 18.8 million people, and just ahead of Dhaka with 17.6 million people. This would make the greater New York City area the 63rd largest country in the world, just ahead of Syria with 18 million people. The U.S. is the world's largest economy, with a gross domestic product of $20.4 trillion, or 23.3% of the total global economy. China is just behind the U.S. at $14 trillion, and 16.1% of the total global economy. When measured by purchasing power parity, or the price of goods and services versus individual incomes, the U.S. comes at number 2 to China, whose GDP PPP is $25.2 trillion. This means that while the Chinese economy is about 30% smaller than the U.S.'s, Chinese individuals have on average 20% greater purchasing power in their own country. The three biggest economies within the U.S. states are California with a GDP of $2.6 trillion, Texas with a GDP of $1.6 trillion, and New York with a GDP of $1.5 trillion.
These three states, sorry, I didn't even look at my... These three states are huge, and they're really wow. They're bringing in a lot of the income The gross domestic product.
Altogether, these three states would be the world's third largest economy, just ahead of Japan with a GDP of $5 trillion. California's economy alone is as big as the United Kingdom's.
What?
Texas's is as big as Canada's, and New York's is as big as South Korea's. The United States also has the best equipped military in the world, though it's only the third largest at 1,282,000.
The third largest? I thought it was the first now. Oh, maybe because it's the active duty personnel. But when it comes to like the overall military, I feel like it is now the largest. Maybe this is not updated, that's why.
1,000 active duty personnel. Ahead of it are India with 1.4 million active duty personnel.
Okay, it's based on the active duty personnel, so yes, makes sense. And then China. Yeah.
And China with 2.1 million active duty personnel. The US spends over $610 billion on its military every year, or 3.1% of its total GDP,
Damn.
35% of the world's total military expenditure, and more than the next 9 nations combined. Just behind it are China with $150 billion in expenditures and Saudi Arabia with $76 billion in expenditures. The United States also has the most military bases in the most foreign countries in the world.
We've touched based on some of these topics in previous videos.
With approximately 800 military installations in 80 countries, possibly more military bases in more foreign lands than any nation or empire in history. The cost of maintaining these bases alone is about $156 billion, more than China spends on its entire military. On the civilian side, the U.S. has the world's third largest police force, with 913,000 total police officers, placing it just behind India at number 1 with 1.9 million police officers, and China with 1.6 million police officers. In the realm of healthcare, the U.S. is the most expensive nation on earth, with a health expenditure per capita of $10,000.
I don't know why, because it's so expensive. When I hear the stories, I'm like, really? I'm super lucky that our healthcare here, even if it's like scam, it's still very good. It's really like, I mean, affordable. At least people can survive actually. Even if they don't have money, they can make it. There's a way, but over there, oh my god, if you don't have money, it's over. But I know there's healthcare, but still.
Placing it ahead of Switzerland at $7,000.
Maybe we have to react to some U.S. healthcare stuff.
While on average, the rest of the world spends about 10.3% of its GDP on healthcare, the U.S. spends 18% of its GDP on healthcare. The United States is a large, complex nation, big enough to host several different distinct accents within its own borders. Its people are hardworking and industrious, leading the world's economy. But despite what recent political events might indicate, they're also the most welcoming nation in the world. With 3 times the number of immigrants than nations in either the number 2 or number 3 spot in a global comparison. The U.S. isn't the only welcoming place in the world. We've never felt more welcomed than when we signed up with Wix to build a web.
He's trying to bait us. Is it over? Let's see. I think it's all the ad. Yeah, it's about Wix now. So if you wanna try Wix, go for it. But that was very interesting. I mean, some of the things we already knew, but we didn't really actually look at the US on a big scale, on a statistical scale. And if we use statistics to look at US, it's a humongous empire. And it's crazy. It just still baffles my mind how US is a country. It feels like it's a continent on its own, right? But anyways, let me know what you think. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave in the comment section down below what other videos like to react to. The original link of this video will be in the description box down below. So it's my social media link. So guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.